Sifuentes, and I am the new East Aurora School Board President for 131. A little bit about myself. I graduated with my bachelor's in business management in December of 2020 during the pandemic. I used to work for the King County Circuit Clerk as an operations manager, where I worked for the county in public service for 23 years. And currently I am working for the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund. I am married. I have 3 kids that are, one that's a product of East Aurora now, and 2 that are currently attending middle school. And I'm married to my wife, Elizabeth, and together, we are strong parents that believe that education is at the core of it all. So making sure that, District 131 is something to make sure that the students feel successful when they are getting out. So me as board president, I just have to make sure that, we continue facilitating, continue collaborating with all the different stakeholders, and, making sure that we just make it easier for the students. We want to make sure to remove some of those different barriers. I'm incredibly humbled and excited at the same time. I graduated District 131 East High in 1999. I currently have 2 kids that attend the district, both in middle school, one over at the Fred Rogers Magnet and one at Simmons. My daughter is moving on to high school next year. My oldest, she's 19. She graduated last year from East Aurora High School. So, I bring that perspective of parents, so I know what they go through. My top 3 priorities will be, number 1, student achievement. That is something that we still have to continue working upon. It's not just about test scores, but it's just making sure that the students are engaged in the classroom, whether it's middle school, high school, making sure that they are part of that community and that we can find programs that they're interested in. My second priority would be, we're reaching a point where the union contract for the teachers is about to expire. So we're going to have to go back to the table and work with them to make sure that they're fairly compensated. And number 3, my third priority would be to still try to find a way to get the career and technical center that we initially started talking about within the last 6 months up and rolling. Hopefully we can find a solution to make sure that we're able to continue and move that forward. I completely support Dr. Halverson's vision for working with some of these different outside organizations to make sure that we can, have strong partnerships. If students' families are going through some of those rough times, whether it's housing or food insecurities, we have to find ways to make sure that we mitigate some of those issues with the outside different organizations. So we just have to create strong partnerships. So on my own, I have to advocate on behalf of the district and try to get some new, partnerships formed to make sure that our families have the resources that they need. The board president's role is pretty much to facilitate the board meetings, and make decisions. And when we vote, making sure that, those decisions are still centered around the students. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that the decisions that we make are what's best for every single student in the district. But outside of that, there's other things that we also do. And so we just have to listen to each other, collaborate, and make sure that at the end of the day, we continue to make that decision of what's best for the student. Culture is everything in a school district. If students don't feel supported or safe, learning becomes secondary. If teachers don't feel supported either, that's where we then have to come in, the board. We just have to find ways to communicate well, listen to every party, make still decisions that are centered around students, but taking into account the teachers. Culture isn't something that, you just throw in and it's good overnight. It's something that you have to work on daily, from the administration to the teachers to the students. So it takes everyone to work together on that one. And it is something that I, am gonna continue working on to make sure that, everyone feels supported.
What do you see as your greatest asset now that you are the new D131 board president?
I've got a couple. Being a parent, I bring that parent perspective side. I know what families are going through, some of their hopes, some of their concerns, some of the challenges that they go through. Second, I bring experience. Being on the board for the last 6 years I've seen a lot of change throughout the district, whether it's been working through the dual language, increasing our graduation rate from when I started around 60% or around that percentage to now around the 90th percentile. And seeing some of these schools increase their designation status through the Illinois State Board of Education has been great. The thing that makes East Aurora unique would be the people, the students that come to the district. We are one of the most diverse districts in the state of Illinois, and that diversity is a strength for us. The community that shows up, families that want to be a part of the district and want to participate in the child's, development overall. What makes us unique is our unity, our grit, and our belief that every child, no matter their, family issues or whatever the case would be, that they can come here, feel safe, supported, and receive that quality education that they deserve. To the families of East Aurora, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with your children. Thank you for your patience, your advocacy, and your partnership. I want you to know that we see your hopes, your challenges, and your dreams, and we're working every day to make this district stronger for you and your children. We have work ahead of us, but the future is bright.